I will say you can pair a lot of these newer artists with the artists that we grew up with. There are so many crutches now that you can use to make the vocals sound good.
I mean, they use auto-tune and all these things on stage now.
This is the thing that lacks for me in a lot of these younger singers is that aside from having a great, incredible vocal range and voice, it's all about, in my opinion, a great singer is more about interpretation.
Yes, that's a great point.
When you hear somebody, and I always say this to a lot of my younger singers, I always tell them, when I close my eyes, I want to feel you. I want to feel and I want to believe what you're saying. Like, if you're mad, you're not, I'm really mad at you. No, that's not how it is. I'm so mad at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the voice when someone's singing, you kind of want to hear that expression in the way they're doing their thing, or if they're sad, they're sad. You want to hear. It's all interpretation.
Hello, everybody.
Happy Friday. Welcome
Friday.
to the Belly Love Pod. We are back.
We are back. I got to apologize for everyone in studio because my dog Shmi is a little gassy.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, we have this delicious candle. My really good friend Tila LaRue gave me this candle, and it's what is it? I think it's Fraser Fir. It's unbelievable. I'm a candle snob, and I just had to shout out to this because Tila's like a buddy of mine forever, and she gave me this candle for Christmas, and it's beautiful.
I can't.
Andy's scoring points.
With chicks.
No.
New Year's
He is. That's
Time out.
exactly what he's doing.
Actually, hold on. I've known Tila for almost 20 years, and she started a candle company, and I like supporting my friends.
Well, that's
so
really cool.
There you go.
I didn't realize that was her company.
LaRue. Those are her candles. She hand pours them herself.
LaRue.
And Fraser Fir and Harley are my two top scents. So go check them out.
Fraser Fir is a good smell,
Yeah, you need your own
very
scent.
wintry.
What's
And
Harley?
you can just call it the mandel.
What's
Mandel candle.
The mandel candle.
I like it.
Mandel candle.
I like
We
it.
have, by the way, that voice that you're hearing, or that person
Without
that you
further
see,
ado,
the legendary Steve Real, everybody. Let me tell you a little bit about
The
Steve.
legendary me.
Yeah, that's right. No, Steve. Well, first of all, he's literally one of my best friends from 34 years and counting. And I'll tell you how we met, which is crazier because we even met before that.
Yeah.
But Steve also is a legendary vocal coach and I say legendary because he works literally with legends. So that's what he does. And he rehabilitates voices. He actually, we re-met, should I say, and I'll tell you the story just quickly when I was about to record my first record in the early 90s. And anyway, we were referred, we needed somebody, and I was a young guy, I was like 15, and my parents were like, look, we want somebody that's young, we want somebody that's hip, somebody that gets him. Joey doesn't love to take vocal lessons, because I was like, I could sing, but you got to learn to sing properly so you don't blow your voice out. Anyway, and this incredibly haired person, he should have been in a Pantene commercial. He still has the thickest head of hair I've ever seen. Yeah. Steve is 147 years old, by the way. Look at this hair. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Check it out.
Steve's hair, you can't see through it. You never could.
I drank the serum.
No, you never could. His hair is so thick. The back of his hair grows.
Joe's envious.
Yeah.
Wait, no,
Joe's
it's true.
really.
I have 3 hairs left. They all fight to be the ones standing up. That's the ones left. No, but Steve's hair was so thick that in the back it grows straight out. That's how thick it defies gravity.
It still does.
It defies gravity. It goes literally this way. I've never seen anything like
it. Can't lay down because there's so much hair underneath.
Screw you. Yes, it's so thick. Anyway, so he shows up at the door, all right, and he has the most beautiful head of hair with this thick head of hair that literally every person in the world would die for, down to his shoulders. He has this T-shirt with the jeans and the boots. This guy shows up. He's like, hi, I'm Steve Real. I'm your vocal coach. I was like, this is crazy. So we met, but he has gone on to work. I mean, forget it, me, but he was starting out back then because he was only 21 years old. But now he has worked with,
everybody.
First of all, I don't want to give names, but I will.
I don't want to name drop, but let me name drop a few.
I think it's Stevie Nicks. It is Harry Styles. It's Keith Urban.
Rod, didn't you help Rod Stewart at one point get his voice back?
No, not Rod.
You idiot.
Nice try, though.
Who else? Tell us who you work with. Some of the people you work with.
I work with Clint Black.
Woo! There it is.
I worked a little with Reese Witherspoon and Joaquin Phoenix for.
Oh, that's
Walk the
right.
Line.
Oh,
wow. I remember that.
Cool. That's right. I remember that.
I work with Teen Heartthrobs, the Lawrence brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, here
of
they
course.
are.
Hey, wait a minute. No, but yeah, you
a
also
few
worked.
people,
You
a few
also
people.
worked tirelessly with the amazing late great Olivia Newton-John.
Yes,
Oh,
I
my
did.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way,
Dude,
several
when you did your duet on
Yes!
stage with her at that,
Oh, my
it was
gosh.
Steve has one of the, I mean, honestly, golden pipes, I would say. I've never heard a male voice as good as yours, ever.
Ever.
Oh,
Me
please.
either.
No.
Not only
Ever.
can Steve, first
Hands
of all,
down.
do
So many
anything that
amazing
George
Hands
Michael
down.
could do, anything, okay? He could literally sing anything that Luther Vandross could sing, anything, because I've heard him do it. But here's the crazy thing. He can also sing anything Celine Dion can sing. That's what's so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you remember the time when
that's
Titanic
nuts.
came out?
Oh,
We
yeah.
saw that
funny.
Steve and his amazing wife Martha, because they've been literally our dearest family friends since literally 1991. They would come, even which made it so crazy because Steve was a little older than me, but I never realized that he was still so young, right? But the fact that he and his girlfriend and then fiance and then wife, at the ages that they were, would come hang out with us every weekend.
Oh,
and
we
go see
hang out
movies.
every weekend.
Every
we hang
weekend.
out.
We
Yeah.
never missed a movie night, so
No.
we would go see
For
Titanic
years.
for years. But we saw every big movie. But Titanic and literally, My Heart Will Go On. Steve was able to literally sing it in Celine's key and could hit all those notes. I've never heard anything like it. in my
I
life.
also did this. Oh.
That's right.
Oh.
Nothing my love can fix for
That's
you,
right.
baby. Oh, oh, oh.
Wow.
I remember that.
Positive of this, I'll tell you. That's right.
And you know what the funny story about that is that
He did those backgrounds.
Wow.
when we did that session, the engineer at the studio that we worked at, his name was Greg.
That's right.
He is married to Marilyn Martin, who is one of Stevie's background vocalists. So we always
Wait a minute.
always talk.
Really?
Yeah, Marilyn
didn't
Martin.
know
so
that.
Marilyn Martin has been singing with Stevie for quite some time.
Okay.
She did the duet with Phil Collins, "Separate Lives."
Oh,
You call me on the that song.
just sing
But-
for Steve.
But
Just sing
no,
something for Steve.
copyrights.
Okay. No, we
But-
can do it. It's a podcast. We get away with anything.
Oh, nice, perfect.
Literally
Get away with
everything we
murder.
sing.
But
Even
anyhow, yeah,
murder.
we always talk about that, and that was kind of like one
Wow.
of the first things that we kind of did. It's like I went to your house.
Yep.
Of course, Andy answered the door.
Oh, my
boy.
God, you got to
Which
tell
is
me.
Oh,
like,
no.
it's the best thing, right? Like I get to your
First of all,
house.
it's 91, so Andy was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he was
Three and a
actually
half.
3 and a
He
half.
was 3 and a
right?
half. He was 3 and a half.
So I
That's
get
right.
to your house. I had met you at the studio, and
That's right.
I got to your house to work with you, and like this kid opens the door, and he's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Steve."
What was
and
your
I'm
first
like,
name?
and like, "Who are you?" And like, "I'm Wolverine."
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, my God.
I think I remember this.
Oh, it was
Classic.
great.
It was really
Oh,
nice.
It was
Oh,
great.
my God.
Yeah.
Andy was never out of costume
No.
ever. Right,
Never.
dude?
No,
Ever.
Never.
Ever.
Always in character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
I remember my mom would bargain with me and allow me to wear costumes underneath my clothing because it was
yeah.
getting out of hand, and she was like, "You can go, but wear it underneath the outfit." So,
All right, I will be Wolverine, and
Yeah.
I am the only person that knows that I'm Wolverine.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So anyway.
And
so
you were someone different every dinner,
yeah.
for sure.
I'm still like that.
Oh yeah.
My multiple personalities.
It's weirder now though because he's not portraying anybody. He just has his own personality disorder that has several of them.
Well,
Yeah. Oh God. So anyway, he answers the door.
He answers the door,
Yeah.
and I walk in, and you're there,
Mm-hmm.
and you're 16 years old.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
hey,
too cool.
what's up? I'm like,
Too
"Hey,
cool."
I'm good. Let's go do some vocal exercises.
I was a little reticent.
then-
I was a little hesitant to. I was a little hesitant to take vocal
Come
lessons.
on, Joey. Listen. Na 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 na.
Oh my lord, Joe. Joe.
Do you have a girlfriend? Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
Oh, anything
Oh,
but.
cool. Come on, you can do da na 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 na.
Oh man.
All right, but
Wow.
you did it.
By the way, those vocal lessons. I mean, your voice rings in my head to this day.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
I mean, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Uh-huh. Da-da.
Oh my gosh. Still,
And let me tell you something. We still work. Steve and I
Yeah.
still do
Still
it.
do it.
of course.
Because I like to keep them.
Well,
You
it's
know.
a muscle. It's like anything else, and those are the
You have
that's
to-
the
you have
gym.
to
That's
keep
the
those
train,
vocal
right?
cords conditioned to kind of endure anything and everything that you do vocally, even if it's acting or speaking, or
That's right.
it's
Yeah.
just good to keep them healthy and in shape, like any other part of your body.
Yeah,
Steve
for sure.
often told me that, and I do it all the time because I speak hard, right? Steve's like, "You always speak here. You always speak here." You burn your voice out. So he's the one that told me. He said, whispering, by the way, is the worst thing you can do for your voice. You know, people go,
Absolutely.
"I have laryngitis. I'm just gonna whisper." The worst.
Hmm.
Keep quiet, you
Keep
can
quiet,
tell
or
me
just bring your pitch
or
up.
bring your pitch up here.
That's it. Just
Can
kind
you
of talk
talk
right
up
here.
here?
This
And
Now,
the
I say all
is,
the
easiest
time,
way.
is that
minute.
why Michael
Jackson, exactly right.
Jackson could
Yes.
talk up in here?
That's right. People
Absolutely.
have often surmised.
Oh,
No
my
way.
Michael kept
goodness.
his
Yeah.
voice high.
Talking up here. I mean, listen. I used to answer the phone, and I got called ma'am many a time because I always kept my voice up here.
Yeah.
Hi, hey, hi.
Oh,
It's just
Very
it's
true.
it's a safe, comfortable place to
Yeah.
be
Yes.
in terms of what your voice. This is like, it's like that one skit on SNL where,
Which one?
where, the sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Very
That's
nice.
my sweaty balls.
Yeah.
No,
Wasn't Alec
but you wanna-
Baldwin? Alec
yes,
Baldwin
Alec
do that?
Baldwin.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, yeah.
But
The
you want to
sweaty
keep your
balls.
voice up, the pitch up, because it's just a healthier place for your chords. Less stress, much
Interesting.
easier up here. Less stress on the chords versus like trying to whisper and be down here. This is not
Which
the
actually is
best.
the worst. You said it's almost
Yeah.
worse than talking loud.
It is
because your vocal
because
cords
you're
are touching all
you're
the time.
really pushing your
Mm.
chords together.
Interesting.
Also
Yeah.
referred to as the Christian Bale Batman voice.
Oh,
Exactly.
God.
Oh, yeah,
Ah! yeah.
That's like the worst.
Hey, well, go to me. Relax, man. Relax.
We're here.
Batman needs to just take it down a notch.
I should.
I love those
I'm
movies, but
Batman.
not to digress. But the glowing red eyes really creep me out in the movies. But anyway, I mean, Batman's eyes started to glow red. Remember that? It was
Yeah.
the second one, I think. He was out in some porch or something. He's like, I am Batman. Like red eyes?
Yeah.
You've gone too far. This is ridiculous.
I love
I
the
think it was
Nolan
the way-
Batmans, but
I think people were underneath that spell at that point. Remember, he released that toxin?
no, it was Scarecrow. Wasn't it?
Scarecrow released the toxin.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
Batman looked as if he had
Yeah.
glowing red eyes, but I don't
Yeah.
think he actually had.
You're probably
glowing
right
red
about that. It
eyes.
just the whole voice thing creeped me out. I mean,
Yeah,
there have been
it was a
amazing
lot.
sketches of the original Batman.
I don't understand what you mean. Why are you talking like this? And if you notice, his lips always are like this too.
I know.
But I think
It's like
that's
the
because
cow
of the
is
suit,
it's too
guys.
tight.
It's too tight.
It's for sure.
I literally
was
can't
way
even
too tight.
move.
Yeah.
Well, also, he was trying to not have a British accent at all. And
Right.
make sure he sounded like an American living in a city.
I mean, you're going like, why are you so intense, bro? Bring it back. You're scaring me out.
Because he was Batman.
Yeah, that's right.
I only work in black and sometimes very, very, very dark gray.
That's from the Batman Lego movie, which was one of my funny. Will Arnett.
Yeah, it was really
So
good.
funny. That was one of my favorite lines ever. I only wear black and sometimes very, very, very
Dark gray.
He added like 8 varies in there that weren't in the original line, but that's
Yes.
cool. It's black or very dark gray.
cool. 2 varies is better than 1 vary.
Well, it takes a while to get
and
to the
comedy comes
punchline.
in threes, so that's why I put in
Very-
threes.
Very dark gray.
Exactly. See how much funnier that is?
Well, not really.
Yes.
It took a little while to
So
get
great.
there.
So good to see you
Dude,
guys.
I
man.
know.
Welcome, man.
Stevie!
Well, it is.
Welcome to the pod.
Because as life goes on and families grow,
I know.
it's nice to be able to come and see you guys and I just see you all the same.
It's crazy. Well, you have
in my head, you're all this. You're the
Yeah,
same.
I'm still Wolverine
Well,
answering the door, going,
absolutely.
You're
"What
the
are
same.
you?"
You're the same.
Absolutely.
I remember when Steve and I became fast friends, right? And I actually started to look up to him like he was like my big brother in a way. It was really cool. And then we became best pals because the age gap vanished. Like as soon as we both were in our 20s, basically it was like whoop, gone.
Yeah.
But
6 years.
yeah,
7
6 years. Yeah. So it vanished.
Yeah.
But I remember Steve, I'm a big car guy. I've been a car guy my whole life, so I noticed cars. I remember cars. So he had a silver Geo Storm.
Oh yeah, my
Okay.
Storm.
And by the way, back then it was like kind of like I would refer to kind of like the way that like Kias are today. Like kind of like a cool new brand. They were doing something different. They were like super economical, but like kind of cool. And
It was so much fun, that car.
it was a great car. So
With
he
no air
would take me.
conditioning, by
So
the
he
way.
would no air conditioning.
Ooh.
But Steve had, I'll never forget this. So he always just dressed cool, but he had this great style. He had on these really cool. This is like the early '90s, right? So everything's back now, obviously.
Cowboy boots with a silver
No,
you have
no,
Maybe
no.
I had a pair of those.
He had
too.
those,
a
but
silver tip on the
yeah,
front?
he had those. But no, he had those. But these were a pair of lace-up boots with steel-toe tips, and they were
Oh, yeah.
slightly square, but not fully
Oh,
square.
I remember those.
And I was like, dude,
Just getting a flashback of
I
those
was
right
like,
now.
That was the total.
it was
look
the
back
total. It
then.
was.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, is almost look again now is my daughters are all wearing. I mean, all the
totally.
kids are in the
I mean,
'90s stuff.
yeah,
It's crazy.
totally.
So I remember going, yo, dude, those boots. I'm a big boot guy. I was like, those boots are so cool. He's like, you know where I got these boots? These are real workman boots from Sears. I was like,
Yep,
what?
they sure were.
They're not from Sears. He's like, yeah, they are. I was like, I got to get a
Steel
pair of these
toed
boots. He's like, I'll
workman
tell you what.
boots.
We have a good lesson. Ask your mom. I'll drive you to Sears and we'll get these boots. I was like,
Absolutely.
no, I'm going in the storm.
Cut to.
He's like, you're coming in the storm. Yes. I had the greatest
Exactly.
vocal lesson of my life that day. And then Steve and I went. We would always get Slurpees.
You actually listened that day.
I did.
Yeah.
We would
with a
always
pair
get
of boots.
Slurpees. Our thing was Slurpees at 7-Eleven.
Mhm.
Okay, that was my reward.
Hmm.
Okay, and we went to. I'll never forget this. Like, so you see, like it's so. He was so. It was very influencing to me at my age because very few people were. I was the oldest one, right? So I was always the one doing stuff for you guys or with you
Mhm.
guys, but nobody did anything like that for me.
Got it.
So when he was like, "Come on," He drove me, and I'll never forget. I felt so cool. I was in like the passenger of his car. We were going the silver Geo Storm with the blue interior, and we went there, and it was just. Man, I remember picking him out. He had his on, and I was able to get mine. And I felt it was literally one of the coolest. Like, I love you for that. It was like the coolest day. Really.
That's cool.
You know, and it was so crazy because, you know, people think there was all this fame going around, like the Blossom thing was exploding and all these things. But I swear to God, all that's a blur. And I remember things like this. More than anything in my life. I remember things like our Sears Roebuck trip when I went and got my lace-up steel-toe boots.
Do you categorize your memories by the automobiles? Because I feel like you associate every like person and the year to the car that
I remember
they drive.
About right.
I remember a lot of the cars,
or the boots that they're wearing.
Yeah, but you have a lot of cars to remember because you change them out every once.
I was really stupid. I was young and would burn through cars. Yes.
In fact, I think everybody in the family has had at least one or two of Joe's.
Oh yeah.
Like leftover cars, as we'll call them.
Yep. You just recently had one, not even but like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I took over
Jeep,
some sort of.
my Jeep, my
the Jeep
Rubicon.
before I had the Jeep I had now, I took was Joe's. He didn't like it, so I was like, I'll take it.
Yep.
Look cool.
No, well, I hooked it up to where it became really impractical for me to.
Yeah, you put a huge lift, and it turns out that those giant like Jeep lifts are not. They're they don't function.
So unstable.
You can't drive it on the road.
I was really worried about.
Cool.
It looks cool, but they're just that's not. Yeah,
I need an elevator to get me up into the driver's seat.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, I felt really.
No, but
unsafe.
I do remember things. A lot of it is. Definitely charted by the cars and the shoes. I don't know. Just I remember things. But I'll never forget that. It was one of the coolest things ever. But I remember often as we were recording my first record on the way back from the studio, because Steve did a lot of the vocals on that with me. And believe it or not, my second record, Steve and I wrote a lot of the songs together.
I remember that.
Yes,
Remember that? Soulmates,
awesome.
we wrote a lot of the songs
We wrote
together.
a lot of the songs
Yep,
together.
yep. And
you guys also wrote that hidden record too, Dimensions, that never came out, but it was so
That was a
good,
cool
dude.
record.
Oh, I was talking about that
Dude,
this morning.
that record is so.
Because Cal was on Kelly and Kelly Ripa's show.
Okay, Kelly and Mark.
Yes, Kelly and Mark.
Okay.
And Cal did the rap on that.
He did do the
Yeah,
rap on that.
yeah. Dude,
That's
that whole
right.
record was
That's right.
emotions, and then
Emotions.
you guys like get a cover of a Bee Gees song
Chicago.
or
The
Chicago.
If
Oh,
you
that-
leave me
Oh,
now.
that was
Oh,
so fantastic.
oh,
We had such a
man.
good time
Dude,
doing that.
You guys, that was such a good record. I can't believe that never
Oh, we
came
did-
out.
My Soul. My
Oh,
Soul was really
my
good.
soul
Yeah.
takes me. Oh, my soul takes me. My soul makes me
Everything I am and all I will be.
So good, so
That's
good,
it,
you guys.
Yeah.
No, Steve, by the way, I love to harmonize. It always takes me a minute to find it. Steve,
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh,
literally
we had
just,
so much fun doing that.
Steve's voice.
Yeah, the
dude,
harmonies.
It was a lot of fun.
telling you. I mean,
Cool.
if he hadn't helped the greatest, he would have been the greatest. That's the truth. I really believe that. Steve can out-sing everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, you look at all these... First of all, a lot of artists today, unfortunately,
They
the
can't
newer
even
stuff,
sing.
They can't sing. That's the truth. But Steve, and I'll go out on a limb and say it. I mean, I will say you can pair a lot of these newer artists with the artists that we grew up with. There are so many crutches now that you can use to make the vocals sound good.
I mean, they use auto tune and all these things on stage now.
They do.
Oh, yeah, they use a lot of things.
You don't really even.
They do.
You don't really have to nail it. And so, especially if you're moving around, like it's a different game, Back in the day when you
was
had
that?
to dance and sing,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
Wait, what was
Yeah.
that artist? We don't need to even name him, but there was some guy who I guess the auto tune fell off, or the track fell off, and his voice came out.
Enrique?
No.
Did you hear the Enrique Iglesias
No,
one?
I think it was Bad Bunny.
Dude, it was.
Oh.
He was literally going. He wasn't even.
He was
saying
kind of
it. He was just-
mumbling, yeah.
he was
But
just like-
I mean, I'm sure he's capable, but I think in that moment
It
he
was
was kind of just
crazy.
relying on the track, and then the track wasn't there.
Wow.
But he's like one of the biggest artists of our day, and it was
You know,
shocking.
yeah, and that's
to
really
hear.
true. But
Yeah.
I do feel eventually there's going to come a time when like the real talent's going to have to come back.
Well,
because
Go ahead.
because there's such a lack of air in all of it. There used
Yeah.
to be air. Like there used to be moments when an artist could say like, "Hey, hold off." And he used to tell his band or her band to
Yes,
to
yeah.
stop,
yes.
and then they do like a couple of lines just a cappella and just go for it and let it be what it is.
Mhm.
It's going to come back. It's got to come back.
I
It
hope
really,
does,
really
Steve.
does.
I listened to one of our good friends, Kim Fields, who's a huge Michael McDonald fan. She sent. I know. Okay, so she does. Yes.
Have a place in her heart.
As it rises to her apology, anybody else would surely know. Watching her go.
Anyway,
What a
You got to do that.
Can't you see? The wise man has a power.
That's what it's got to be.
Guys,
Wow.
I'm telling you, man. Literally, if Steve
Yeah.
can sing anything, anybody, and he'll match them literally note for note. It's insane.
So cool.
But she sent me, because she does these Michael McDonald Mondays. Shout out to Kim Fields. We love you. But and she's obsessed, right, with Yacht Rock Radio. And I am too. I love that era. I found it because obviously I didn't know what the hell Yacht. I found it much later, like 5-6 years ago. I'm obsessed with it. All the Steely Dan stuff, and I mean, just incredible stuff. But regardless, she sent me an unplugged live version of What a Fool Believes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
No, he can really sing.
Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins harmonizing.
Oh, those
that's-
two guys.
Oh
Yeah, those
my
two
gosh.
guys.
And they slowed it down.
Right.
They
And
were
that,
like, she came us some way back in them long
Oh,
ago.
those, I mean, that was
Dude,
singing.
that was singing.
That was
Yeah.
singing.
It was.
I mean, and still to this day, both those guys,
Yeah,
Michael
dude.
McDonald,
Oh.
Kenny Loggins, you'll go to a
They
show
can rip, dude.
and they still sing.
Yeah,
they
it's
still
really
sing
true.
and they still put that same heart and have that total original vocal that of course, like you say, you always knew who it was. You'd
Oh,
hear
yeah.
you'd hear the
Seconds.
first 5 seconds of a song and be like, oh, that's so and so, that's so and so,
Of
that's
course,
so and so.
I know. I was just listening to Sirius XM and Proud Mary came on, like Tina Turner. I was
Oh,
just
my
thinking, like,
God.
we just
I
lost
saw her in
Tina.
concert.
Yep. We just lost Tina. And I was like, well, there's no Tina Turner. Like, I was listening to Proud Mary, and to your point,
Oh yeah.
I was listening to a live version of it. And
Oh,
they had a 4-minute intro to that song where it was, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there was a girl, and the audience was dying.
Totally broken
4
down.
minutes
Yep.
Yeah.
before she even. I'm looking time in the city. I mean, dude,
Yep,
there is
so good.
nobody, and I'm
No.
starting to think like, who is doing this? Nobody.
Well,
It's
you know,
so crazy.
I've got
and there's very few artists. Believe it or not, Steve actually works with one of the few young artists that you can actually tell doesn't sound like every other artist, and that's Harry Styles.
True.
Yeah.
He's one of the few
I do-
guys
I do like
that
his
actually has
songs.
some songs
He's got good songs.
that are not. I don't feel like they sound like everybody else's songs.
Yeah, it's true.
Because at the end of the day, like for some reason, everybody sounds like everybody.
Yep.
I don't know what
Well,
the
it's
hell's
probably
going
the
on.
auto-tune.
Yeah, but also the songs themselves.
Sure.
Like Olivia Rodrigo is Billie Eilish. They all sound the same, and no disrespect
Well,
to either of them.
Billie,
I'm
I
not
think
cutting
she
them down.
stands out because
Phenomenal.
of Phineas. Yeah.
I am a huge.
I'm not
I am
saying
too.
they're not
Huge
good.
fan
and
of
I'm
she
not
hers.
saying
stands
they're
out
not
because
good.
her brother is such a
And
massively
that's
Yeah.
wait, you just nailed
ingenious
it.
producer.
He
It's a
is.
brother
He
sister
is.
team,
Cool.
dude. That
She
is
has
the
a
coolest
sound,
thing
she has
a
vibe.
ever.
Yeah.
No
I love
disrespect to
Billy and her
either of them.
brother.
And she
but
can
there's
sing.
major
She can
He
props.
definitely sing, but there's a lot of people.
An incredible
for a minute,
songwriter.
Yeah, Phineas is
What?
awesome
Phineas
as
is
well.
great, but there's a lot. But for a
Like
minute,
she to me, I disagree. She to me is out of everything that you're talking
Maybe.
about. Those two are out of everything you're talking about. for
maybe.
me.
But I hear them and it takes me a second. I'm like, wait a second. Oh yeah,
No,
that's Billie.
not her.
Not
All
with
right,
her.
well,
No,
I
you
disagree
could-
with you.
Not her.
You know what? I hate
yeah.
you guys. Screw you guys.
Yeah,
I
it's
disagree.
2 against
But
1.
at any rate,
She's pretty original.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Steve.
you,
Pretty original.
Steve.
well, okay.
Well, I
fine.
mean, I say that in the sense that, the songwriting, the style of singing. I mean, she's very original, and this is the thing that lacks for me in a lot of these younger singers is that aside from having a great, incredible vocal range and voice, it's all about, in my opinion, a great singer is more about interpretation.
Yes, that's a great
Because-
point.
When you hear somebody, and I always say this to a lot of my younger singers, I always tell them, when I close my eyes, I want to feel you. I want to feel and I want to believe what you're saying, because this is your outlet. You express yourself through your singing voice. So I want to be able to close my eyes and kind of like feel what you're saying. It's kind of like if you open your eyes and you see someone passionately speaking to somebody, there's passion. And like if you're mad, you're not, I'm really mad at you. No, that's not how it is. I'm so mad at you.
Yeah.
So in the voice when someone's singing, you kind of want to hear that expression in the way they're doing their thing, or if they're sad, just they're sad. You want to hear. It's all interpretation. I mean, that's why people back in the day, like Bob Dylan, not the greatest singer in the whole world, but
his interpretation.
Yeah.
but the interpretation
absolutely.
was there. There's so many different styles of voices, but it's all about how a singer emotes and makes the listener believe in what they're saying. Music is so huge for everyone's life because
Oh man.
it's almost like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Because it takes a song will take you back to a moment in your life
Oh, definitely.
when
So true.
you connected yourself to the song, you believed it, and then it becomes a part of that history in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, for
yes.
sure.
So those voices, those singers that were able to captivate us like that and pull us in. Like I always say, the singers of the 70s, a lot of these singers of the 70s that, they weren't just singing about love and about fun. They were singing about stories.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
and if you think about all of the artists from that era, no one sounded like the other person.
Yeah.
I mean, you
nobody.
had like just in, like I work with Olivia Newton-John, right? She had a singular voice that was her own, and nobody sounded like her. You had
nobody.
Karen Carpenter, you had Linda Ronstadt. These are just the female vocals.
yes.
Linda Ronstadt.
Yes.
You had Joni Mitchell. You had the singers from Heart.
Oh my
You
gosh.
had
Yes.
Stevie Nicks. You had
Yes.
just these voices that could stand on their own.
Mhm.
They were
Yes.
their own voices, and you
Yeah.
knew exactly who it was. It's
You
like
also
we were talking
had
about it.
had Aretha Franklin.
You had
and you
Aretha
had
Franklin.
Patti LaBelle.
You had Patti
Oh my
LaBelle.
gosh. I mean,
you had,
you had-
these were all, and you can talk about all the male vocalists back in the day.
Oh, dude.
like
What we did.
like a Rod Stewart or like
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
Robert
Rod
Plant.
Stewart,
Robert
dude.
Plant, Rod Stewart.
Oh, Rod Stewart is
Prince,
like Prince.
Mm.
Well, Michael
Jackson,
Steven- Lionel Richie.
Steven Tyler,
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie,
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie
oh,
Wonder.
Stevie
Milliseconds,
Oh my
you knew it was
gosh.
Stevie Wonder.
You know what's funny? I had a conversation with your daughter last night because she got our pipes.
Why are you talking to my kids, bro?
What?
Kidding, no.
She got our pipes, and
Yeah.
she's starting to.
They both did. Which
both.
which one were you
Well, I was
talking
talking to Charlie, but
Okay.
I know.
Oh,
Libby did
'cause
too.
don't sleep on Libby. Charlie
Wait.
and Libby can sing.
So they
I have to tell them all the
they
time.
got
it's like
the
Wilson Phillips.
pipes.
Yeah.
And she didn't. I was talking to her about, anyway, to bring it back to Stevie Wonder. That's how I learned really how to sing.
Right.
Is I really admired him because I also, I love the fact that without his sight, I thought he channeled more energy into his other senses.
For sure.
So I would do the same thing. I would censor deprive myself. So I would go into a dark room.
I'd wear a
I
blindfold.
would listen to
God,
Stevie
what?
Wonder, and I would just repeat.
Yeah.
And anyway, to bring it back to Charlie, I was like, Charlie, who's your favorite singer? And I forget who she said. And I was like, so do that. Just repeat. And she didn't understand that your voice is like an instrument. It's actually a God-given instrument.
100%.
A lot of people can pick up an instrument, and you can learn, put in your 10,000 hours. Not these.
No.
If you've got pipes, you can make them something great. If you don't have pipes, actually, this is a good question for you. It's really hard. If someone doesn't have that connection to their ear, to their pipes, it's almost impossible to teach someone to be a great
can you
singer,
actually,
right?
I mean, I know you have done miracles where somebody who really can't sing that well can actually learn to carry a tune. Steve can do it. But to Matt's point,
Well,
is there a
I-
level to where you just, if they
of course, people are born with the talent. It is a talent. It's
Yes.
a talent that you're born with, and if you're able to sing, I mean, it's something that you connect with really early in your
When did you find out?
early in your life. To be honest with you,
were you just practicing
I
and were like,
don't
holy
remember.
shit, I
I
can
don't
sing?
really remember because I always sang. Like
Songbird
Yeah.
from the
I
womb.
I just
Yep.
always sang.
Did your parents sing?
No.
So you were like, and none of your brothers sang, your sister,
No.
anybody?
Well, I have a brother that sings. He's a really great singer as well. But,
okay.
But
Wow.
So there's a
I
genetic
just-
proponent in there.
yeah, there's a proponent.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's a lot of people that want to sing, that want to learn how to sing, and it is all about the ear. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a hard time hearing it, it's harder to teach somebody to understand what it is
Yeah.
to hear it.
Yes.
Yep.
If you already naturally hear it on your own, then
Yeah.
you have the ability to just continue.
Right.
Right.
I had a student years ago who he knew he couldn't sing, and he
Hmm.
knew he had this disconnection from his ear to his voice. He just
Really?
couldn't understand what pitch was,
Wow.
or he couldn't find the note.
Yeah.
He just couldn't find it. And his
Oh,
his
man.
goal, and this was his goal. He said, I just want to be able to sing Happy Birthday with everybody and it sound okay.
Wow.
That was his
Wow.
goal. And we worked for about a year, and he finally kind of caught on to like of what it was to hear it and
Wow.
repeat it with his
Interesting.
voice,
Hmm.
repeat the pitch.
Yeah.
And he got it. And he took it even a little further. I mean,
Hmm.
he wasn't going to be, an incredible vocal artist,
Right.
but he just wanted the ability to be able to sing
That's crazy.
and it sound okay. So, we got him there. We got him there. But yeah, you have to have the talent. You have
Right.
to have the natural ability. It's
Right.
something, most singers know they're a singer from an early age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You just know it.
Yep.
But the idea is, you want, for anyone who wants to take it to the next level, take care of your vocal cords. Really.
Absolutely.
Take care of it, learn how to sing,
Yeah.
learn how to sing well, learn how to sing technically well, so that if by chance you have the luck, because I think it's a lot of it is luck too. The luck
Yeah.
to be able to use your talent as
Yeah.
your work. You want to take care of it. It's like no athlete would run a marathon without stretching.
Of course.
That's
I mean, it's just a
So
given,
true.
right?
yeah.
100%.
You'll get shin splints if you.
You see,
If
and you
you
see
don't-
the
if you
difference
don't. It's-
between a
it's-
lot of the conditioning
It's
of the
that
greats
whole idea.
versus the guys that are gifted,
Mhm.
and then you don't condition yourself. I mean, you look at injuries today in sports with the advancements that we have in how you treat injuries, right? I
Mhm.
mean, guys should not be getting injured as frequently as they're getting injured, but they're getting injured all the time, and a
Right.
lot of it they're saying is the prep. These athletes are not taking care of themselves, and you see the difference between the pedigree athletes that take care of themselves and the ones that don't. The ones that don't constantly are injured. The ones that and because
It's a lot of work.
the rehabilitation, the
a lot of
work,
work,
you
a lot of money.
oh, it's just a
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, you
I
hear about
mean-
these top guys. They spend millions of dollars on their body, and
They do.
they're in the gym 3 times a day, 4 times a day, starting at 4 in the
Look,
morning. I
it's
mean,
Michael did it.
All
Kobe
conditioning.
did it.
Tom Brady.
Look at
Tom
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Tom Brady.
Look at
They've all done it.
look at what LeBron is doing at his age.
it's pretty amazing.
I mean, he had a
It's
dunk
unbelievable.
last week.
I saw that.
Oh,
I know it's unbelievable.
dude! First of all,
I
that
know.
dunk at 39
Amazing.
pretty unbelievable.
from
dude.
the dots.
I know. No, he's
Pretty unbelievable.
That was one-handed.
I know.
That was
Discipline.
incredible. It is discipline.
Yep.
And that's
It's
what
discipline.
it is with anything that you want to be great at. It takes discipline.
100%.
Now, getting back to this, because I actually want to talk about this earlier, but this leads me to it right now, is so you just were singing, right? And you just noticed one day that you could sing, right? I'm sure, what were you listening? Like, do you remember what you were listening to? Because I know you often say, and what I couldn't believe, because George Michael, when he was in his prime, to me, had one of the best voices ever. So, believe it or not, did Donny Osmond, in his prime, had one of the crystal clear voices. His voice was just so crystal clear, especially on that Soldier of Love stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, this
Beautiful
guy,
voice.
beautiful,
voice.
Sacred Emotions.
A beautiful
Woo!
voice.
What a record.
And great ability.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, but Steve, when we would talk about that, because we met not too long after a lot of those songs came out.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Soldier of Love came out in 91 when we met,
Right,
and we were like,
met.
and you could sing it,
It
and
was so
sounded
fantastic.
I mean, honestly, it sounded probably better than Donny Osmond, but I mean, honestly, you did. And George Michael, like, you literally sang Faith and Freedom, because Freedom was out the year before we met. You know, that Freedom 90. Freedom,
George
I
is
won't
one
let you down.
One of my favorite voices of all time.
Of all time.
I really loved it because he really had.
He had
there
range
was, there
in
was
his
a,
voice, right?
He had a lot of range, and he had this sensitivity
He did.
in his approach that was really appealing for me because I've always been a very expressive person. Period.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm a strong man, but I'm a strong man who's not afraid to cry.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
all these just allowing yourself to go through the emotions that
Yeah.
us human beings have. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
A lot of times people are kind of forced to not go there, but
Yeah.
I was never afraid to let myself go there because that's just a part of what I felt.
I
Was
agree.
Who I am
I
Yep.
agree.
to allow myself to be emotional.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I remember listening to. There was a song, one of George Michael's songs. Aside from the hits, there was a song called "A Different Corner"
Hmm.
that he did. Listening to that, I just thought, okay, he's going there. And mind you, I was raised also with a lot of Latin music, so
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
a lot of my dad would bring me mariachi records, and
Oh, my gosh.
that's like
Solamente una vez.
exactly. It's
Oh,
all
I'm
it's,
in
so,
love
it's like
vida.
all out there.
It
It's
is.
just
It's
over.
Sorry, wait,
I
wait,
mean,
you told me. Solamente una vez.
I taught
Y una vez más.
Ah,
Yeah.
good job.
Una vez nada más en mi huerto un brillo es la esperanza. Right?
Keep on going.
No, you got it, because I don't know the next one.
La esperanza que alumbre el camino de mi soledad. I was gonna do the harmony.
Woo!
We should have stayed on the melody.
Sorry.
Yeah,
all right,
those
sorry,
those
sorry,
are.
sorry.
You're right.
Yeah,
Those are
that-
incredibly
yeah, very
emotional music.
It's like emotional, expressive
Yeah,
music.
yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys
You guys
gotta
and
record
do
that
have to
song.
sing. You have to sing
We should record
as
that
loud
song.
as
Why don't you
we
guys
should.
do it here?
And it's a standard, man.
We'll do it.
Dude,
It's a
yeah.
awesome,
Steve,
classy
Do it.
standard.
we
We'll
should do it
We'll
here.
Right here.
Do it
We'll
here.
We'll do it. We'll
That's
do it.
so
No, we
cool.
got to do this.
Okay, we'll do it.
I'll
So-
run the session.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll do it. We'll do it. You heard it.
And
here.
when I heard George, I thought, yeah,
Hmm.
he reminded
get
me
it.
of that.
I
He
get it.
reminded me of that kind of singing, like
Careless Whisper.
yeah.
Oh
and
my
it was
gosh.
just that kind of angst in the voice that just
Yeah.
kind of made you go, okay, that's
Interesting.
And what about that? And
I
the
could
preacher
feel-
done told me to wear.
Yeah.
I mean
Just
that.
preacher.
Yes.
that
Oh.
kind
There
of,
were things
that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah,
have.
it's
Oh,
just, you
because
know,
it ain't over. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
you know,
Yes.
I
yes,
always
yes.
connected to that voice because I felt that. Yeah, I completely believed it. you know?
Yes.
But like
It's true.
like
the
I
emotions
say, you know,
translate.
what really
Oh,
got me
yeah.
started was my brothers were learning how to play guitar,
Interesting.
and I was like 4, and of course my mom always played the radio, so I would listen to whatever songs were on the radio. But they were learning how to play the guitar, and they started playing like a Rhinestone Cowboy by Glenn Campbell.
Oh my
right?
Rhinestone Cowboy.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. So that was one of the first songs I ever learned.
Wow.
And so I went into the room, and of course it was a huge hit song at the time.
Yeah,
and my brothers were
huge.
playing the guitar, so I kind of just started to sing it while they were playing the guitar.
Oh my gosh, Steve.
And
Everyone was like,
and it was back
Everyone
when
just
they had,
stops playing.
it was like
it was
kind of like at the beginning of cassette tapes where you can actually
Yeah.
like record yourself singing.
yes.
So my brothers were like, "Oh, we're just gonna record this," and so they recorded it.
Wow.
Do you have a
And
copy
I
of
was
this?
just having it somewhere.
You got to digitize
You
it.
got
man.
it. You got to digitize. it.
Digitize that,
they,
Steve.
they took the tape to my mom and said, "Mom, you got to hear this. You got to hear this." And I was 3. I just love to sing, so
Wow.
they played it for her. And like, I'm not quite sure she believed it when she first heard it, because she
Right.
was like,
Steve,
That's
you know I've
just
never heard
nuts.
this story. That's incredible.
so that's how it all started.
oh
so
my gosh.
a lot of the songs that I learned were a lot of my mom's favorite songs, because she would buy the 45 records.
Oh,
and
gosh.
she, back in the day, we had the little portable record players, right?
Oh,
that we
yeah.
Take around.
Oh yeah.
So, and I've always been a bather. I like to take baths.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
when I was a kid, when I was taking a bath, my mom would put the record player
In the
bath.
tub.
No,
Oh,
no,
not in the
Bad
tub.
move.
I wouldn't be here. And she'd play these songs.
She would
and,
stand over the
she'd
tub
play
with the
like
record player.
3 or 4 times, and I would learn the song. So I always,
Wow.
Yeah.
that's how I kind of start. I would just
Isn't that crazy?
learn
Yeah.
these songs and start singing them. So
That's crazy, bud.
yeah, I mean, I've loved singing, and it's crazy to imagine where I'm at now, but my love for singing in my lifetime brought me to the idea of keeping other people singing.
That's so cool.
And
Wow.
it's
That's awesome, dude.
this is where I landed.
yeah.
So
It's your journey.
I've gone with it.
It's your journey.
Super cool.
I've
No.
gone with it and had fun with it.
We were also really, really lucky to where, and you even were in. I mean, I found it, like I said, looking back just a few years, but coming up in the '80s, like, wow,
What an
a
era of music.
plethora
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah,
music. Like,
70s, 80s.
I mean, dude, like
Even into the
just-
90s,
and
honestly.
I say
like,
for
yeah.
songs, because today, like, we can talk about the artists that are out there that are dominating the charts. But you talk about the soundtrack of your life, and maybe I'll be judged wrong. I don't know. History will definitely play out, and we will be able to look back. But I just don't see dozens and dozens and dozens of songs that people are going to look back from this current crop of music right now,
Yeah.
and go,
I think
oh my God,
what an
oh
era.
my
No,
God,
for
like,
sure. And I
like
think
we did,
but I
like,
think-
because
I think
man,
it's
they're just-
because-
and I know I sound
Hold
maybe
on.
old saying it, but I really feel that way.
mainstream music has become manufactured.
Yes,
Back in the 80s and 90s, even mainstream music was still original.
It
Like
was
there
so
wasn't
original.
this box that everything had to
Right.
fit in. Meaning the auto tune. Kids' ears are getting trained to
I know.
auto tune voices, so that's the normal now. Like that, if it's not auto tuned, it's almost maybe more unique.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this video going around of T-Pain
That's why it's
actually
gonna
really
come back.
singing?
Thank you.
Wait a
I
minute.
hope so.
T-Pain actually really singing?
He's so
Dude,
great, dude.
T-Pain has.
Killer voice.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
You're going.
I know.
Why did
What?
you use that?
Well, because he
Oh,
created
it was
the
his thing.
sound.
It was his
He
sound.
created that.
I know he did, but his actual voice.
He
He's
should
really
release
great.
He should
He's
release a
stunning.
record.
It's-
Yeah.
He should actually do a completely.
He needs to do a unplugged
Yeah.
He
like,
should.
T-Pain
he's-
record
that would be
awesome.
awesome.
because he's
Well,
insane.
Listen, if you watch the Milli Vanilli documentary
Oh yeah, dude, I did.
and about those guys, I mean,
Wow,
they could sing.
they actually could.
Hmm.
They actually could sing.
With your help,
and
if
they could have
had-
sang. They could have sang well enough to do everything that they did.
You could have absolutely gotten
Oh
him
yeah.
But that comes to show you, like,
there. Yeah.
eventually, and like you were saying just a few minutes ago, like I really do believe that people are going to start to want to hear the real thing.
I hope so.
I hope so, man. I'll
Well,
tell
here,
you.
let
go ahead,
me
Matt.
give you this, and hopefully, it comes back. But I think where it's going is a mashup of everything that's happened before using AI to create these artists from the past as you combine them all into new artists. So you take the feeling of one singer with the writing style of another singer, and you use AI, and then you use that AI program and you overlay it over you. And then when you go in the studio and you actually go to do your stuff, it'll be overlaid with these artists from the past. So it's almost like you take all these different elements from all these great artists and then you create your new artist.
Wow.
And I think it's going to go there. But what I think is going to happen, Steve, is I think it's going to become so indistinguishable and not real because, again, you take all that away, these people are what are they going to have? And then I think it'll open up the door for originality to kind of come back into place. But I think we're headed towards a spiral of completely AI, auto-tune, digital music.
Yeah, and it's already in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think
already
that's
in
where
the
it's going.
This is what I'm saying about the music that we grew up with. Like, we're not being, at least I'm not being an old fart by saying this. I could keep going.
No, and I think
Well,
Billy
kids
Joel.
are showing
that. Hold
Okay,
on.
yeah.
Kids are
We need
showing
more
that
bands.
though.
We need
Steve.
well,
We need more
Bands.
bands.
We need
Yeah,
more bands,
man.
dude.
I know.
The kids are
More
going
bands.
back
I'm
and
bringing the
finding
old
it.
Andy Lawrence band back
Yeah,
after
I'm
this.
serious.
They
Like
are. You should.
I will.
you talk to kids these days,
I will.
they are going back and finding that
They are.
music because
They are.
they're realizing
They're
you know,
desperate.
they don't have it. You know, they don't
don't
have
have
that
it.
kind of. You're right. A lot of it just sounds all the same.
It
now.
sounds the same. It's missing a lot of soul for me.
Mhm.
It's missing a lot of, like,
Well,
Steve
because
was
it's
saying, like,
manufactured.
passion.
Yeah,
It's not
missing
coming from the
soul.
heart.
Honestly,
Yep.
there's this great meme going around right now. When I think I sent it to you guys, where a guy probably he's probably like, late 30s, early 40s, and he was talking about like hip hop today versus like when we were able to experience hip hop
my
with the whole
God.
with Snoop and Ludacris, and-
Tupac.
right? Early LL, all these guys, right?
I mean,
anyway, but like,
NWA,
right?
I mean, we're
but
talking
like,
like
but like
Ice
he
Cube.
went from like
Totally
he went
different
from like
now.
LL's going like
Holy.
I'm gonna knock you, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
mama, to literally. And he was playing himself, going like, music, what's going on? And it was him
Oh my
being
God.
himself doing today's
Dre,
rap. Versus,
I mean, dude, Eminem even. Like,
oh,
what
dude,
happened?
dude,
Storytelling.
It was
Yes.
it was storytelling.
It was storytelling.
It was, and
A lot of music used to be storytelling.
yes,
You know,
and the
it's-
problem
it's-
is, I literally don't know what's going. I mean, like I literally listen, trying to figure out what is the point of this song or what they're saying.
well,
can't
I can
figure
tell
it.
you
Can't
what it
figure
is.
What is it?
It's attention span.
Yeah, you're right.
I was
Because
just about to say
it's
that.
attention span because
Yeah,
we used to have the ability to actually sit down and listen to a 3.5-minute song
Dude,
right.
and listen to it till the end. Now
right.
technology,
spot on.
like
You're
you can
right,
listen
Steve.
to a song, and if you don't like it, you just
Go to 100 million.
you just touch your phone and it goes to the next one. So no one listens to music like they used to
You're
anymore.
right.
You're right.
Like
Right.
you used to listen to an album.
That guy.
You know?
Cassette tape.
yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to fast forward a cassette tape, it
Right.
took a minute.
Yeah.
You couldn't just fast forward
But
a
no,
song. So you were forced to listen to the songs. And there was also a flow to albums. You remember that? Like, I remember when we were putting together Soulmates. Like
albums
when
don't
my,
exist.
my
Let's be
second
real.
record, like, we were choosing
Only
and
in
Steve was like,
indie-
we used to start with something that grabs them and then go into a ballad and then take them
Only,
into a mid.
only,
Remember that?
only indie artists still make records.
You
You're
heard
not
it
going to
here.
find this in mainstream again because
Yeah.
now mainstream is manufactured.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, you know, one of the clients that I work with, one of the big parts of her day is when she's getting ready for her show, she listens to playlists that she puts together of all the music that she loves, and she incorporates music from different eras that move her and put her in a mood. You know, imagine that. You know, listening to something that kind of takes you to a place where you want to go and you want to be, so that it prepares you for where you're going to take it, right? So that's what music should be for
Yes.
people. Is like people should be able to listen to a song and listen to the story and go to the next one. I mean, that's what albums used to be. Like you just said, you would take people on a journey.
You would.
But now people listen to 2 minutes of something and they're able to go to the next because they have that capability to do it.
Let's
I mean,
do
the
it.
days of intro. Remember, like intros,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
where it was like a 2 to 3 minute
dude,
intro before the song even
The Who,
started.
Michael
I mean,
Jackson's
oh my
that
God.
one Stranger in
Criminal?
Moscow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stranger in Moscow.
Wait a minute, guys. What about I Want My MTV? Dude?
Oh,
Dire
God.
Straits.
Way just all wound up.
I gotta be honest with you, that actually is so long. And they have another version that I guess came out.
Dire
That's
Straits,
the single
dude.
version.
I know.
The real intro is literally like 2.5 minutes.
So true.
sick.
It's so good.
Because you know what? They
Dire
wanted,
Straits.
it was the
Dire
experience.
Straits is underrated,
It was the
actually. Dire
experience.
Straits is awesome.
Incredible. It was the
They have a
experience.
lot of really good
and
music.
they wanted to be able to
do.
bring
They
you on
really
a
do.
journey live. The opening to that song, when they did it live.
I can't
Oh my
imagine.
God.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I can't imagine how cool that would
When it
be.
get
Again, another lick that I learned on
Totally.
That's the way you do
Yeah.
it. Money for nothing, it chicks for free.
That's so good.
terrible. But
I want to be. Oh, this is.
Dire Straits
Yeah.
is amazing.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure any kid could get past an intro.
I don't. It would be tough. You're right.
Yeah.
Like
right.
really.
no, I don't
They'd
think they can
skip it.
stick
Like
through
there
it,
is no anticipation anymore.
No.
I
Isn't
guess
that
they,
sad?
they don't give themselves. They don't allow themselves to have that. Right.
That
You have
emotional roller coaster.
2 seconds.
What's so brilliant though?
That is it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And even in our business now too, when it comes to just entertainment, even visually,
Jeez.
you got 2 seconds to really hook these.
So it's
kids,
really
or-
just
Yeah.
about a hook, and it's no longer about the orchestration
No,
of your
exactly.
emotions.
Right.
The journey's gone. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
get to the destination.
Yep.
Right. No, it's true.
Wow.
It's
I was,
really, really true.
You know, you think about. I mean, honestly, you talk about journey and ride. Like you listen to like an artist like George Michael, like we were saying, all these different facets to his voice, right? And because he did like the faith thing with like, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body up in here, right? And then he did Careless Whisper and
Right.
and
Long intro
really long
to the original.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
It was a long intro to it.
dude. so
Before
good.
before the horn part. Yeah.
Oh my
So good.
gosh, dude, that record.
So good.
But anyway, Billy Joel. Like, I mean,
Oh,
you
Billy
listen
Joel.
to Piano
Dude.
Man versus We Didn't Start
Billy
the Fire.
Joel.
What a range.
Oh my
like a
God.
bottle of white, bottle of red.
You know, that's his
Yeah,
favorite
right.
song.
It's one of my
That's
favorites.
Billy
Me too.
Joel's
Me
favorite
too.
Billy Joel
Incredible
song. Is that one? The Italian one in the Italian restaurant? Italian
Oh
restaurant.
gosh, I love that song.
Dude.
Bottle of white.
Bottle of red. Oh, dude. Have you ever listened to the Sirius XM Billy Joel channel?
No.
He tells stories. Do you know that We Didn't Start the Fire he was writing it
Yeah.
as like a
Country
record.
song.
Country song.
No, he wrote it
yeah.
as a country song,
Yeah,
and then
interesting.
later turned it into a rock song, and
Yes.
that came up
Dude,
with that.
but
Oh
that-
my God.
Even the way that one opens
record,
up.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Dude.
cool. Oh
I
my.
mean, he's such an incredible artist
He
because
is
you know
so incredible.
he was raised with classical music.
I know.
Right.
He's
And
trained classically.
He's trained classically.
Yeah.
So and then he took it to another level
Ah.
to write all the music that he did. But
Very
Piano
true.
Man.
but then again, it's like the storytelling. Man. Those were songs where you could listen to him and
Oh my
She been
God.
living in my one better world.
Straight guy.
Little shout out to Liberty DeVito, the drummer.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
But I mean, one of his favorite groups was Frankie Valli and Four
Oh.
Seasons.
oh, Frankie
which
Valli
is
and Four
where-
Seasons for sure.
That's where that song was
Yeah,
inspired by.
makes sense.
But anyway, oh yeah.
Oh God.
And when she
Oh, what a night is late September back in '63.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, now you're on the Frankie
Dude, that
Valli. Yeah.
Oh.
Who loves you,
Oh, God.
baby? Who loves you? Wait, who's gonna
Make it through the night. Who loves you, pretty mama? Who's gonna help you through the night?
Who loves you?
Boom, boom.
Who loves you, pretty baby? Who's gonna love you, mama? Who's gonna love you, baby?
Dude.
So great.
Dun, 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 dun.
it's
Oh, that
so
breakdown
good.
is so good.
And when she's in your eyes, that left found a way. Da-na-na-da. Woo!
So many.
Again, you know, it's like those are the songs that are like chronicles of your life.
They
Yeah,
are,
for sure.
Really.
Our dad.
I know. I was just about to
Our
mention
dad
your dad
is-
because
brought that into our
Yeah, that was.
Because he grew up
He was a huge Frankie Valli fan.
Dude.
Oh, gosh.
Dude.
oh yeah.
So
Good.
it was
Why
just-
Speaking of your
don't
dad,
you come out?
Do you remember that time we were having a movie night
We got a lot going on.
and we were all in the car
Yeah.
and 16-year-old you
Oh,
ruined the night?
with my mouth. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I had a little.
Were you there
disrespect.
for that?
Yes, I was.
When my dad stopped the car?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was being a little.
I didn't
brat.
know you were there for that.
You remember we were gonna go to one of our
Yeah.
movies.
That's
all.
awkward.
Like
That's
We
awkward.
were in the
Martha was
minivan.
with. We were all there. It was Martha,
Well
myself,
done, Joe. Well done.
all of you guys,
Wow, I
your
didn't
mom and
know.
dad.
I
We
forgot
were
you
all
guys-
in the car. And
Oh,
we,
gosh.
the minivan, I believe.
Yeah,
Right?
that's all we had. Was
And
Was
we
it
would- we would-
maroon?
We were on our
Like,
way to the
right.
to the movies, and yeah, you kind of opened your mouth, and well, you smart mouthed your dad.
I
for
did.
sure.
I did.
Oh my
And we drove back to the house on Hesby.
One more time, Joe. I'm turning the car around. I was like, he's not gonna do it.
Oh, yeah.
Steve was like, please stop talking. You're gonna ruin the night. I'll never forget this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't shut up. And he turned the car. I ruined the whole night for us. I'll
Yeah.
never forget that. I felt so bad. Honestly, great parenting because I've never forgotten it and I never did it again.
Dad was
Yeah.
tough. Mom was tough. I mean, they're both tough.
Dude.
But we,
Oh yeah,
we
and we left.
The
I
dad
know.
left.
We got to your
Dad
house,
dropped
and
the
like
hammer.
Martha and I got in our car, and we left.
Yeah.
Oh,
You ruined the night.
Good job, Joe.
Wow.
Good job.
That was my thing. I never was a really
Yeah.
bad kid. I didn't do
No,
anything.
you had a mouth.
But I had a
But you were
disrespectful
just,
mouth.
you were a 16
No,
year
I
old
had a
kid.
disrespectful mouth.
Yeah.
That's what I had.
I had
I never
one at
did
one
drugs.
point.
I never snuck
But
out. I never
what I loved
partied, never
about
did
it, though,
anything.
what I loved
But
about
I
it though
was
is
disrespectful.
how
Yeah.
is how normal our lives were, even
So
with all this
normal.
crazy
Yeah.
thing. The fact that our dad was
yeah.
still.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I loved it. Oh man, I mean,
It's great.
yeah, man, it was great. It was great.
What was the show you were doing when I would take you to the show?
Superhuman Samurai.
Superhuman
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve.
So
Yeah.
Steve,
Oh,
For a whole
man.
for a whole summer.
We
It
had
was like-
so much fun.
Steve was like,
The
I'm telling
Lion
you,
King had just come out. Do you remember that? We were
Yep.
singing all the Lion King
the Lion
songs.
King's- Yep.
Oh my gosh, Steve! What a
great
great
time.
time.
See, Steve,
That
really
was a
is
fun
like,
time.
That
he's
was
like
a fun
our
time.
oldest brother.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really
He
is.
really
Really, what
Absolutely.
about I just I
Absolutely.
gotta shout
I mean,
out to
Wow.
Think about this.
Martha.
And Steve was probably
All right.
22 when he was doing that. So, like, what 22-year-old guy is going to take
We
like,
had so
that
much
kind
fun,
of
man.
love for our family? That's the kind of
We
bond
had-
we
I would
had.
come get you
We
and
were
we'd go
family,
to
dude.
drive to
That's it.
Glendale. Yeah, we did.
That's it.
It was in Glendale.
Right, I totally
And
remember.
we did it
all
for the
this.
whole
the
Wasn't
whole
there a basketball
summer.
court
For the
there
whole
too?
summer.
Wasn't there a basketball
I think
court?
there was.
Because you guys would tell me that you
That's
played
right,
basketball,
you
and I
would.
felt like so.
Yeah,
I
we
was
played
like,
basketball.
damn it, you play basketball all day. I want to play basketball with you guys.
I gotta give
We
a
had a
shout out.
blast.
Shout out to Martha,
blast.
Steve's wonderful wife, who was
Miss Norwalk. What is it? Miss Norwalk what? No, Martha.
She
I'm
used,
telling
she
you.
used to babysit and hang out with me when I was a little kid.
Yes.
And she was psycho mommy, and we would.
yeah.
But what about? I just remember I have these
Miss
memories.
Norwalk, 1989.
Miss Norwalk 89.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember Matt pulling out Martha's hair and I swear to God, lassoing beetles
That's right.
and flying them around the
That's
kitchen
right.
with Martha's hair.
Yes.
Yep. That's right. I do remember
And Martha's
that.
the one that told me that Pantene is the best shampoo on the planet.
It is.
Oh, I remember
It
how.
is.
I mean,
It
I
is,
at
man.
one point or another, we all had crushes on Martha.
Yeah.
Because her hair smelled amazing.
She had
She was
good hair.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
She still has
Yeah.
good hair. She
Yeah.
still has good hair.
It's
Oh,
so
she does.
funny.
And I
Yes.
think
No,
she
Martha-
still uses Pantene.
I bet-
All
to be
right.
I'll
honest.
never
best.
forget back in the day. I'll never forget because I kept asking her because I had really long hair and I hated to have that. I had to have my hair long, but I had to have it long for the show. I hated it. It was always frizzy and everything. So, and now of course, you complain about that. And now I don't have any hair, but I mean, I have some, but it's a sixth of what it
You
used
know,
to
by
be.
the way,
You
you're
have
the
hair.
only
You have hair.
one that keeps saying you don't have hair.
I understand.
I think it's like.
Well, I know the difference when I run my hands through it, and I can do it like with two fingers, where I used to need like your hands and my hands, and it used to be like this. But anyway, and I'll never forget that Martha brought me the Pantene she used. It was this cream bottle with a gold cap.
Oh yeah. I
Remember
remember.
that?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
she
remember.
said, "Here you go." They would come over.
Yeah.
Here you go. It was like, "You brought me the Pantene," and
The
I remember,
best.
yes, because it had that smell.
Well-
Martha's hair would always smell
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh! It was
Yes.
literally. I would walk behind Martha just to smell her hair.
It was good hair. Do you guys remember
Jeez.
the Northridge earthquake?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. Like it happened, and I
No
live
quiero
like 45 minutes away, and we still came out and hung out for
No
like,
quiero
I
terremoto.
know.
for like 4 days
Wasn't
after.
that what it is?
I remember.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Terremoto,
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 Yeah.
terremoto.
That's what we. That's the
Terremoto.
song.
Terremoto.
Yeah. No quiero terremoto.
Do you remember like we would? I remember
yeah.
you guys were there and
Gosh.
for days after there was those like
Aftershock.
aftershocks, and
dude.
I'll never forget.
Boom.
The front lawn was like a water.
Oh, yeah.
and we were
yeah.
sitting there. We were like, "Oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
crazy!"
It's happening
But
again.
we made the best of it because
We
we had
did.
the best time.
Oh,
we
we
had
had
the
so
best
much
time
fun.
for
We
a
had
few
the
days
best
after that.
We had
We
so
did.
You
much fun.
guys, you guys
We've
were
got so many
good. We
memories.
have so many
Disney
memories.
World.
Disney
Oh, my
World.
gosh.
Oh, I got a
Steve,
memory.
New York.
The turkey leg.
Oh!
Okay,
Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and
The
gentlemen,
only person
Okay.
I've ever seen
No.
like a cartoon.
I still do not believe this. So
I can't get it out of my head.
The Disneyland, Disney World turkey legs,
which
right?
are bomb, by the
Which,
way.
by the
They
way,
are
are the
so
greatest.
good.
But they are
snack.
massive.
They are
I
huge.
mean,
They're
the
full-on
full size. Literally, it's got to be 17 inches
Yeah.
long, and it's probably
2 pounds.
6 inches around. Okay, it's this huge thing. It looks like something from the Flintstones. Okay,
It does.
so here's the crazy part. You know how on those old cartoons where like the wolf would take the bone, he would go like this, he'd go, and he'd pull out the chicken, and it was just the bone. Okay, so we're all eating these turkey legs, and you're getting through about halfway. You're like, whoa, there's no way. And I think a lot of this is probably the gristle. I don't think I'm going to eat the rest of this one, but it was an amazing 45 minutes that it took me to eat half of this turkey leg, and you throw it away.
Yeah.
All right, in 20 minutes, we're talking. And I look over, and we're all putting and Steve literally is like this.
The bone.
And we're
the bone.
It looked like this. It looked like this.
Yeah,
I was like,
leaned it to the bone.
As you can imagine.
I could still do it.
Steve, what happened to the meat? He's like, what do you mean I hate it? I'm like, all of it?
Yeah.
What about the gristle? He's like, there was no gristle on my piece. I was like, Steve, there's no way there wasn't gristle. It's a leg. I mean, it's got tendons. I've never seen anybody.
Unbelievable.
I have no shame about it because
he pounded that leg.
I had one not that long ago.
Did you do it?
And I did it.
No.
I ate it. I looked over at Martha and I said, just like Disney World. And she was like, yeah.
It's
Dang,
unbelievable.
honestly, I'm kind of craving
We
one
gotta
right
do
now.
a
You know what?
big
We got to
Disney
do
World
it.
trip.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
I want to
so
do it. I miss
bad.
Florida. I miss
Me
Disney
too.
World.
Me
I
too.
Or
wanna
just
go.
Disneyland. Let's
I
go to
know
Disneyland.
that'd be great too. How were you? I know this is. I'm digressing because the first time that we met was, believe it or not, Steve was in the We Are the World choir, weren't you, or something like
Yeah,
that? What was it called?
it was Children of the World.
Children, but it was based off of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was based
'Cause
off
you know
of
that
that.
We Are the World.
Yes.
Okay. So they did Children of the World choir.
Mm.
Right? And
1986.
Okay. And they were on Give Me a Break.
Oh, wow. I was 6.
Okay. They were on Give Me a Break. And I'll never
Wow.
forget.
Oh, so wait, you guys met?
If anyone wants to, I don't know the number of the episode, but it was the podiatrist episode.
the podiatrist episode.
Yeah,
on Give Me a Break.
now
If
goes
anyone
on a
wants
date
to-
with the podiatrist,
Okay.
and
Wow. Okay.
I don't know.
Nell Carter. Nell Carter.
Yeah.
Give me a
Yeah.
break.
Nell Carter, and anyhow, it ended up being where she was going to go on this date, but she had some friends that had adopted all these kids from all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to go somewhere, and they kind of like came to the door and like, hey, can you watch these kids? I was Pierre from Guadeloupe,
Pierre from Guadeloupe.
who could sing perfect English.
Of course. Of course. It was the 80s.
Because we did What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. Yep.
What a great song.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some,
Wow.
but for everyone.
Wow. Oh, my God.
That was it.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
I was 14.
So that's when we first met.
I was 14,
You
yeah.
guys
And
met,
that's
and
why-
then you met again?
And then we met again.
we
wow,
met
is that-
again.
if that's not the universe.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
that's not the universe,
Yep.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
working its magic.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, there's.
Wow, we've had so
Hey,
much fun.
we
man.
we
And,
will always find our way back to each other.
Of
Yeah,
course.
You know, I really believe
course.
that. I believe that it's divine. I think that the bond that we develop and that you develop with our family, it's just like it just and it happens. It happened a few times in our lives with very, very few people.
Very
and,
few.
And I'll tell you, man, you guys
Dude.
were family. Like, just it was family.
The-
from day
I
one.
just
From
the
day one.
love, the
day one.
laughter.
That's
Like
it.
I
Oh,
will
so
never.
much fun.
Steve,
That will live.
We've had
I will
so
live. That will live with
much
me forever.
fun.
Steve.
Forever.
Yeah.
We had so many
Truly the
stupid
great
jokes,
moments of
Yeah.
life.
stupid, funny,
Great
the
moments
best.
Oh,
of
just-
life.
and some of the greatest
so much.
moments ever, dude. Ever.
Ever.
So much fun, so
Ever.
many great moments,
Ever,
so
dude.
much laughter.
Oh my
So
gosh!
much
I mean, we would
laughter.
laugh
I think
and
that
laugh.
we've laughed more with you and Martha
Oh
than
my
I think with
gosh.
any
Anybody.
other people.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Ever. We just would
So much
laugh.
laughter.
We would.
The
Tears
whole night
rolling-
would be
What about
laughing.
those New Year's? Do you remember the New Year's we would
Oh,
spend?
my
Years
God.
we would
my
spend
God.
together.
I remember Lauren was in a crib
That's
one
right.
New
Oh,
Year's.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
first of all,
And just whatever fun we had in between days of doing of days of work, like studio work. Like I'd come over to the house,
Yes.
I know.
yeah.
and you know somebody might be there, and we
Yeah.
might be like, you know, doing our little like, without to say a name, but we'd be like,
Yeah.
Remember that? Oh,
no
my
names,
God,
no
yeah.
names.
You know, I have I made a whole video. I made a home movie when I was like 13, starring you.
Yes,
That's right.
I-
yeah, we
Bro,
did it.
I found it.
Oh, sweet
Oh,
Lord.
I have those movies.
We have to watch them.
Oh,
I
We
haven't
have to
watched
watch
them, but I
Please
have
can you
them.
watch them.
So one
Please can
day.
you watch
Well,
them.
there you go.
We
We'll watch
will.
it.
We'll end with Muffy too. Do you remember Muffy?
Oh,
So we had this thing where so Steve, I'd go. I don't know.
Hey,
what it
Steve,
was.
you
We
remember your
love it.
dog?
Hey Steve, you know your dog Muffy? And you'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
Muffy's dead.
I don't know why, but the eye twitch is just the greatest thing.
It's like my total telenovela face.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Sure.
man.
That just
But what do you mean?
that innocent smile to Steve, just angst in the eyebrows.
Oh, gosh. The
Oh,
memories.
man.
The
Such
memories
good
are great.
times.
The good news is we're still making them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
know.
Oh, totally.
literally, like after we're done with this show today, we're going out. We're gonna get some food.
Mhm.
Right? Martha's here.
dude,
Do some more catching up.
Catching
Lauren,
up.
Steve has got two amazing kids.
Yeah.
Matt and Lauren.
Brag on the kids before we go.
Lauren
because
was
guess
the-
what?
well-
His son is my godson. So,
Dude,
Matt,
I
that's
know.
right.
And Lauren just got married, but Lauren was the first baby I ever
Oh, for
held.
me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Well, outside of you.
And I don't think I held another one until probably Joe's kid.
Yeah.
You
All
probably
them-
held Matthew first.
Yeah.
Yo, Matt.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Did I hold Matt?
Yo,
Maybe.
Matt.
Yeah.
Of
I
course.
guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget just when Lauren first came into the fold.
My
She just was like right in
She
the
just
fold.
was
the time
there.
she was a little thing.
Dude, it was the easiest.
Oh,
like
yeah.
thinking about it now,
I
yeah,
know.
that was like the easy. I mean, nothing. You guys, it was
You just
just
rolled right
Well, she
on.
was like, we went to Disney World for New Year, and she would have been like 6 months.
Yeah.
Or 5
I
months.
remember.
That's
5
right.
months.
It
I
was
remember
like
you
nothing
setting
had
up the
changed.
crib. I
Just
remember
rolled
the
right
whole
along.
thing.
Yep. I
It was
remember.
So, yeah.
so
remember we went to
fun.
see Anastasia
Yes.
in '97.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
Lauren was a little baby, and you guys named your dog Puka
That's right.
Yeah.
after
Oh,
the dog
yeah.
in Anastasia.
She named the dog.
Puka.
She named the dog.
Yes.
That's right.
Wow,
We're like,
you
Lauren, what do you
guys.
want to name the dog?
She said,
She said,
Puka.
Puka.
Oh,
All right,
Puka.
Puka it is.
Oh, my
Wow.
gosh.
We've seen
Puka the dog.
Anastasia,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie nights. Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
dude.
you
A
guys.
lot of movie
Amazing.
nights.
So
Jeez.
great.
You don't
New
even
Year's.
realize how great they are until now you're,
No,
you're
yeah.
looking back and you're going, wow,
Wow.
those just the
We
had-
happiness, the peace, the love.
It was
Yes.
all there.
We had a New Year's. That New Year's we were talking
Wow.
about in Times Square.
Yeah.
We were there.
Of course,
Steve,
of course.
Wait, Steve,
Yeah.
you
You
had
chipped his tooth.
I broke his front tooth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
forced a bottle of champagne
We were
in his mouth.
He
we were
wanted it.
cheersing.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I remember
And I'll never forget, we were both a little tipsy, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Hey, you just broke my front
Oh.
tooth." And I was like, "Oh God!" And then I'll never forget Martha. He's like, "Martha, look!" And she's like, "Oh my God,
Nice.
guys,
Oh no.
we were out of control. We were out of
right.
control. It was great.
So
It was a
Great.
good time.
It was good times.
Great
And
time.
look,
Perfect.
it's all
Teeth are
fixed.
literally
now.
perfect.
It's
Yeah,
all
I
good.
know.
Steve has perfect hands.
Pearly
and teeth.
whites.
Yeah.
His hands are like literally model hands. He'd always do that. You mean
Oh,
these
yeah.
hands? Look at these. Oh yeah, these hands. These hands.
These
He has the
little
perfect
things.
whites. The cuticles are
Yeah.
never.
It's like-
Yeah,
I use palm olive to wash dishes.
that's
do
right, guys.
Anyway.
This is it.
Oh my lord.
I
This
really
is it.
make no mistake anymore.
This is it.
The waiting is over.
Yeah.
We love you guys so
Yeah,
much.
love you. Thanks
Hey.
for joining us today on
In the early part of this 2024 calendar year, God bless you for tuning in every week and listening every week. We are so thankful
And
for
wow,
amazing
thanks for
people like
having me.
this.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh,
Steve Real in the
So
house,
much
everybody.
fun.
Steve.
God bless you. We'll see you next week on the Brotherly Love Pod. Till then, have a great one. Bye,
Pod
guys.
to pod,
See you later.
everybody.
Pod
Thank
to pod.
you.
Hey guys, the Lawrence brothers here.
We just want to thank you for watching this week's episode of the Brotherly Love Pod.
Go to our link tree and subscribe on all platforms.
And make sure you join us
Next week.